Hello, friends. Matthew Zachary here. You know, you've been told that the American healthcare system is broken. It isn't. It's working exactly as designed. Delays, denials, dehumanization. For decades, it's been profits over patients. You need proof? What's the first question they ask you? What insurance do you have? That tells you everything. And it isn't just big health insurance. It's the American Medical Association, it's labor unions, it's employers, politicians from both sides, and even the IRS. Yes, the IRS. They built it this way. And now it's time we, the patients, rig the system in our favor. Here's the prescription. We, the patients, understanding, navigating, and surviving America's healthcare nightmare. My new book by me, Matthew Zachary, a 30-year brain cancer survivor, the founder of Stupid Cancer, the host of this podcast, Out of Patients, and co-founder and CEO of We the Patients. Pick up your copy of We the Patients today wherever books are sold, or visit wethepatientsbook.com to learn more.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. My guest today is Farla Efros. Farla is a retail executive who built a career fixing broken companies, then got a call while she was on a client meeting in Spain that she had cancer. And suddenly, the turnaround project was her own body. She wrote a book about it called Fuck Cancer, Commanding a Comeback When Your Body Has Turned on You, which tells you pretty much this is not going to be a soft focus, ring the bell, and move on kind of story. So Farla didn't approach this like a regular patient. She ordered a binder before the shock wore off, showed up to every appointment with an agenda and dozens of questions, paid out of pocket for tests that were denied, and even hired a third-party firm to make sure her doctors were actually getting it right. She comes from a family where cancer is not abstract. She lost both parents and a sibling, so when it was her turn, she was not interested in slogans or reassurance or pink nausea. She wanted data, control, and a plan. So we talk about everything obvious from what survivorship actually looks like once treatment ends and why she hates that word and what it takes to navigate care when every step feels like a negotiation you shouldn't have to have. My name is Matthew Zachary. This is Out of Patients. Let's get started. By the way, you like my mug?
I love your mug.
Yeah. Health insurance fuckery all day, every day.
Yeah, seriously.
I noticed that that wasn't necessarily in your book, any insurance fuckery you went through.
Well, I did.
I would imagine you did. I mean, I loved what I did read, and I always assume the worst and hope it's less terrible, but do you have any crazy insurance shit that you personally went through?
Well, I was fortunate enough that I was covered, but it was the people that obviously have no insurance are not covered. It's the first question that they actually ask you is, do you have health insurance? But I paid out of pocket for so much stuff because there's certain tests that they just refuse to do on me. And so I actually went out of pocket twice, actually, for like certain tests, like PET scans, which they refuse to do.
Wait, were you not dying enough to get the test?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that I also paid out of pocket for is I hired a third-party company just to ensure that I was on the right path that they had put together, and also to help me to do some predictability analysis of if it was going to come back, where possibly it would actually go.
That's the most Murphy Brown way I could think of you managing something. But based on what I've read about you, that's very Dilbert.
Well, the thing is, right, when you spend the holidays visiting your family at the gravesite.
Yes.
And you've lost pretty much most of them due to cancer. That's what you do. So it's really about predictability, and so that I can actually get ahead of it. So the things that I've done today, navigating the system, really has helped me feel more comfortable. And that at least if I'm going to get it again and I'm going to get it into other places, I'm prepared.
This is oddly like a thing that Gen Xers can get away with saying. It's absolutely tragic. You lost your folks and your sister, but it did kind of give you a little cancer university education to prepare when you had it.
It did. But I actually thought growing up, and even because I exercised, I ate well, I took care of myself, I really thought...
You did everything right.
Yeah. And I thought I skipped it. I really thought it was going to pass me over. And especially when my sister got it and so severely, I thought, okay, I'm okay until that fateful day. And I was in complete shock. And candidly, even today, I'm in complete denial.
Hey, look, denial's a river too. Did you get like BRCA testing when your sister got sick just to see if you were a carrier for anything she might have had?
So I actually did that way before. So cancer was always in my family.
Okay.
So I have a terrible gene pool. And it started with my...
Go Eastern European Jews for the win.
Oh, God.
Our people.
It started with
Quality and breeding all day, every day.
Absolutely. So at 41, I got fully tested and I was negative across every gene. And guess what? Today, I'm still negative across everything too.
Yeah.
So it's not a gene issue. It's something else.
So what did you do wrong? Right?
Exactly.
Stupid question. I've seen that question asked, right?
I must have played in dirt, or I must have played in too much snow, or I must have picked up something, or it could have just been my stressful, crazy job.
I think the dirt that I ate is what's keeping me alive 30 years later. I'm embalmed some way from 80s dirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I lived in 80s dirt.
Yes.
So possibly it's that. Who knows? Maybe my house was built on radon. I don't know.
Well, or the poltergeist. They just move the tomb. They move the stones, not the bodies, right? That's what keeps
right.
us alive.
That's right.
You know, your book picks up like right in the middle of your life. What was your childhood like? Where were you raised?
I was raised in Montreal. And
boy, you have to leave now. No.
I know, because French is my first language.
No, because apparently America hates Canada.
Well, you know, we are the 51st state.
Yes.
Come on.
Welcome aboard, by the way.
Exactly. So I grew up in Montreal. I had a very traditional life, middle class life.
Jewish or Jewish?
No, Jewish.
It's like super Jewish.
Well, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Yeah. Separate plates.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
What did you separate sexes at the shul too?
Yes.
Oh, that's like Orthodox.
I grew up Orthodox, and I went to synagogue with my dad until I was told I could no longer sit in the men's section with him.
Oh boy.
And then that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And that's
when I learned what a mechitza was, for those not understanding what the hell I just said, a mechitza is the physical separation wall between men and women at an Orthodox synagogue where you're not allowed to even see the women, and the women are banned from seeing the men during the service. I have my opinions on that, but if it works for you, it works for you.
Totally. And I agree with you. I have a lot of opinions on that. And that would kind of turn me off, to be very honest.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. But yeah, I grew up in a very traditional Jewish house. We did all the holidays. We did all the stuff. Nothing was out of the normal, I would say.
Right. Did they put you to summer camp? Was it a Jew camp in Canada?
Well, of course I went to summer camp.
Okay.
Come on.
I don't know if it's in Canada.
Oh, no, it's a Jewish thing.
Okay. It's everywhere.
Yes, I had no choice and I hated it. But I had no choice because my parents went out of town.
Yes, as they do. I mean, it wasn't like you're going to Old Quebec to ski for the summer. You're literally just going to, yeah, okay.
They dropped me at the bus and then they went to the airport.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah.
See you in 6-7 weeks.
And I begged and I pleaded. I'm like, please don't send me. And they were like, no, too bad. Sorry, bye.
So I went to Jew camp, but I was the staff kid. My parents were teachers. So during the summer, they're off and we needed the money and they worked during the summer camp. So I was the kid whose parents didn't leave. They stayed home, but they also stayed at camp.
Oh, that's not good.
that added all sorts of fabulous trauma I live with 30 years later.
Well, if you want to talk about trauma, we can really go there.
Were you like a theater kid too?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
That wasn't allowed?
No, I was way too smart to be a theater kid.
Oh, ouch.
Yes.
Ouch.
Yes.
Okay, I was a theater kid.
Yeah, I skipped 2 grades.
Okay. I mean, basically, So this wasn't in the book. This just reinforces what I'm not surprised about.
Yeah, so I skipped 2 grades. I never did grade 1 and 2. I recently completed grade 1 and 2 when my daughter went through grade 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you learned how to color.
I did.
You learned the basic shapes.
In the lines.
Yes, exactly.
In the lines.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly,
I was pretty good at math.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Wait,
I had no friends, but, that was a completely,
all right,
like I said, if you want to talk about trauma.
We're ticking boxes. That's fantastic. We're all ticking boxes. I had my theater nerd friends, but everyone else was like that weird math kid. But I did play piano in high school and middle school. So that kind of made me a little bit of a weird art kid. Oh, let's see what Matt can play Billy Joel today. Play Billy Joel.
See, we would have been best friends because I'm a huge Billy Joel fan. And I went to Vegas to see him.
Was that your first concert ever, or you had seen concerts before Billy Joel?
Well, concerts do come to Canada. U2 is my actual
plumbing,
first
I
concert.
heard too, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. It's so amazing, actually.
All right, I want to talk about something that it's not an umbrage thing, but having been in the space and seeing so much shit for 30 years, I was at the very dawn of when the word cancer survivorship was invented. And it was invented in 1986, and this is kind of in my book a little bit, about a bunch of sort of like research rapscallions who were all cancer survivors in their 20s and early 30s, gathered in Albuquerque to basically come up with the country's first ever policy research group to organize information and determine what happens to you when you don't die or while you're living until you die. Because back in those days, you just kind of died. Everything was Deborah Winger.
That's right.
But it wasn't until 1996 that the word really became something codified into practice, because it used to be called, get this, rehabilitation, before the drug addiction world stole that word from us. Damn you people.
Yeah, seriously.
Right. But the word survivorship today, for me, kind of means nothing. I feel like it's just become like a little cat poster at this point now. And the World War II Army lady, the you can do it with the biceps thing. You talk about that word a lot, but what does it mean to you in 2026?
I hate it. I hate that word because it's not relevant.
Right.
Because yes, we're here, but the reality is, so we survived. What do we get? A sticker?
I heard you get a cookie.
Oh.
And you ring a bell, which I know you hate too.
Oh, well, I didn't get to do that.
Were there no bells in Canada?
No.
Okay.
Not at my hospital. No bells.
Damn you.
But I did eulogize my mother instead of ringing that bell. So.
Oh, that's another box of tick.
Yeah, totally. But no, I don't really like the word survivorship. Just like I don't like people to ask me how I'm doing.
Well, you can't stop that, but you look great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
every show I do is, but you look great.
I know, I look great. Exactly. Because my hair grew back, and that means what? Oh, I'm perfect? Actually, the reality is I'm freaking terrible.
Well, my dad always says, and this is known to my listeners, that the secret to life is to clean up nice, make it look good, but never look under the hood.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
My
You're
next
right.
book, Never Look Under the Hood.
Yeah, totally. Exactly. Yeah, this looks great. The minute your hair grows back, everybody assumes that you're fine. Well, we're not fine.
Right.
We're in a different chapter. And I think this chapter is way harder.
That's a good way to put it, because I am a student of history. Not because I studied it, because I've been just living inside American healthcare for 30 years. I mean, the first 5 were just like trying to not die. But once I got into the Livestrong era, it started stupid cancer in like 03, 4, 5, 6. Then I like really understanding how it works. But it was, I'm not going to say simpler back then. It was differently terrible back then. That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
Because it was before ACA, before pre-existing conditions, before coverage to 26 with your parents, that COBRA. Those are mainstay things that fundamentally changed the country. But also there was no fertility coverage. There was no psychosocial care. That was another word. Survivorship became psychosocial well-being in the academic world for way too long. And we just had to start using that word. And I just wanted to throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I said that.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's quality of life.
I don't want to hear about that.
New normal.
Oh, that's my favorite one. The new normal. No, it's so interesting because I'm sitting back and I'm like, I don't want the new normal. I want to go back to who I was. That's the normal for
Do you
me.
really want to?
Well, to be honest, today, no.
Okay.
No, I actually think I'm a better person today. I think I'm more present than I ever was. I think I was always there, but I wasn't necessarily present. So I think I talk a lot about it, that cancer to me is really my strength. It's not my weakness.
Right.
And that's the way I want to look at it. It's made me stronger. It's opened my eyes to things that I didn't see before. And I really do believe that it came for a purpose. And maybe that purpose was to tell me to stop and smell the roses a bit more.
Well, that's like the It's a Wonderful Life, when you don't realize what you could have had or you're missing this shit, you want to be a better person afterwards. Or Christmas Carol. There you go. Even Christmas Carol. Congratulations, It's just cancer.
You know what? I'm going to actually use that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why not?
You were Bill Murray and Scrooged.
There you go.
Visited by the chemo past, chemo future, chemo present.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yes.
I love that you wrote, I'm gonna find the quote, something about a Birkin bag, like you are the patient wears Prada.
Yes.
You know, that might be the name of the show. I just came up, Kyle, the name of the show is The Patient Wears Prada.
Oh, it is so true.
Yeah, that's your blog. You have the IP, but I want to use it for the show.
I'm going to use it. I'm going to do a movie on it.
Yeah.
But yes, I walked around with my big binder in my Birkin bag.
Yeah.
And when I'd go to the washroom, my husband was not allowed to nap because he had to make sure that he held on to the Birkin bag.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely.
So this is kind of where I was going beforehand. The whole be your own advocate thing that my version of you hating survivorship and cat posters and pink shit, the same thing, is it's so hard to just simply hope someone can be their own advocate.
Agree.
I like that if you say that, maybe it helps a couple of people find some stiffness in them. But to your point about how it's differently terrible today than it was back then, I feel that it's now intentionally much more terrible than it used to be because, as we've seen, the shooting of Brian Thompson, they just tried to kill the guy from Etna. They just tried to kill the Sam Blackman. This country has hit such a pain point, such a tipping point of wrath against healthcare. Question, sort of question, not a question. With your Birkin bag in stock and your Accenture businesswoman, your Tess McGill, sitting there right there. How many walls did you want to punch, realizing every door opened up 7 more?
Oh, God. I can't even begin to tell you. It was so frustrating. And I had to remain calm. It was unbelievable. It was, I like to refer to it as the worst client I ever had in the world. And let me tell you, I had some pretty bad clients that would give me like mini heart attacks. This one was unreal. The amount of negotiating and advocating and the data that I brought and the agendas, and it was endless. Even today, there is not a meeting, and imagine I call it a meeting, not an appointment.
Right.
That I go to that, again, it's not agenda driven and here's the clear objectives and here's the tests that I want and here's what I want you to do. And I have to negotiate and be kind, obviously, because that's what it is. It's never ending negotiations.
Right. You mentioned you had to hire like an outside third party unfuck you kind of thing. Who was that?
So the outside third party was CTQAM. So I hired them just to, again, put together all of their analysis just to ensure that I was on the right path. And let me tell you that my doctors were not happy.
But that you came prepared?
Exactly.
With them, not yourself. You needed them to come prepared.
Yes. Yeah. And I had come so prepared, but at some point I hit a wall and I was less concerned about my current cancer at some point, and I became more concerned about where it was going to go next. And I needed to advocate to ensure that I could be on top of that and get all the tests that I wanted to do on a continuous basis and lean into different doctors and different paths constantly. So it was just, it was like, it's never ending.
Was it that they didn't believe you needed it, or misogyny, or insurance wouldn't cover it?
A little of all.
Okay.
And why worry?
I just made a stew there for you.
I know. I loved it. It's going to be so tasty. And the question is, their thinking, I would say, was, well, why worry about what's to come? Let's worry about the now. And I'm like, well, we're in the now, we're working through the now, and that's great. I'm happy with the now. Now we need to plan for the future. Because if I have a certain amount of time left in this world, I want to make sure that I'm making the best of it and living every single day. And that was kind of my North Star.
There's a lot of evidence, and it's beyond anecdotal after just my being a part of this for so many years, that a woman with cancer that has a female doctor has a very different experience. But you kind of have to have ovarian cancer for that.
Yeah. And you know what I think is challenging? You sit in front of these doctors and you always get the I'm so sorry and I'm so sorry. But until you actually go through it yourself, you actually have no clue. Mm-hmm. And that's the piece that is the hardest, because you're navigating and punching and pulling and trying to get what you want in front of somebody that really has no idea. And you see that all the time until they get it, God forbid, because I don't want anybody to get it.
Not the gift I'd give.
Exactly. But then all of a sudden, their understanding about what we're going through is completely different. And that's when they open up and they're more interested in listening to what you have to say.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break and let's just pretend our sponsor is Hallmark. We're sorry you have cancer. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. All right, the sponsor wasn't Hallmark. I was kidding right there.
Yeah.
Let's get into your book. When I founded Stupid Cancer and I was coming up with the idea in like 2006, everything was Live Strong Yellow, which I was okay with, but it was very like, yay, we're all the Smurfs in the village, right? That's fine. The country needed that sort of convening. I was very proud that it did that. It kind of didn't really pop culture-ify cancer, but we started to see it in cartoons and in movies, and I like the fact that it became a little less Deborah Winger in terms of endearment. That's my take. Brilliant brand. Well done. Sorry, Lance fucked it up.
Yes.
But I kind of said to myself, if I'm going to build a brand, because I came from advertising. I was supposed to go to grad school to be a composer. I wound up landing in Plan B. I understood branding and marketing. And I said, if I'm going to build like an antithetical brand, like a not we're happy dancing, not all the pink ribbon stuff, not pretty photos of pre-Photoshop things and whatever. It has to really be a purposeful middle finger to the establishment. And people ask me, why did you call it Stupid Cancer? It's like, for us, it was what Homer Simpson would say, of course. My point is that when it came out, when I launched it, it was like a shock. People were like, I got the vapors. Like, it was so inconceivable that you could even use that docile terminology by today's standards. But the year after I launched Stupid Cancer, the very first nonprofit called Fuck Cancer started in Canada.
Yep.
That's Yale Cone.
Yep.
And I remember them getting no money and no funding and no attention, and they couldn't build their business model because all the money had to come from people, which it did. But I had to struggle with here in the States. We needed money from industry to get started. And some people just jumped on board right away because this is awesome. It's Gen X. I'm Gen X. We're sorry you're here, but we're pissed. Be pissed with us. And some of them are like, we just can't fund this. Right? So here we are today. Fuck Cancer's on every bumper sticker. And you decided to call your book Fuck Cancer. Why?
Because that's how I felt. Because I wanted to make a statement. I wanted to say that this is just awful and it sucks and fuck it. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to beat it. That was my point.
Right. How are you on that military terminology too?
What do you mean?
Fight, beat, battle, war.
Yeah.
Are you for it, against it, or like pick your metaphor?
Well, no, I just think that that's been my life, right? Growing up in corporate executive, right? Pushing my way, prodding my way, ending up as CEOs, ending up as running companies. Like, that was my life.
Yeah.
So I literally just took the same thing and just applied it to my book.
Yep.
And called it that.
Yeah, this also goes back to your pedigree, too. I mean,
Yes.
I am still considered just a cancer patient by many groups. We're having Matt Keynote speak. He's a cancer survivor. I'm also other things, right? Have you gotten that sense? Have you been invited to speak anywhere? Have you felt tokenized that nothing you've done in your life matters except having had cancer?
Yes. And it bothers me
Tell me more.
a lot because I'm much more than cancer.
Right.
Right. And yes, I wrote a book about it, but it was very cathartic for me to write a book and I wanted to help people. But I'm a lot more than cancer. I did a lot more things than just that. But it becomes that people kind of put you now in that space that, oh, Farla, she had cancer. And it's like interesting, but I've done many other things and I want to be seen as other things, but just cancer. But the reality is it's a big part of me.
I remember the very first time I gave someone this advice. The second you walk in the door with any doctor, turn on voice memo on your iPhone. Like the year voice memo came out on iOS, like 4 or 5, right? What is today's version of that? And what did you specifically do running this like a CEO?
Ordering a binder, putting together my vision.
You went trapper keeper, full
Yep.
trapper keeper.
Fully. I was sitting in Spain, Valencia, Spain, and I got the diagnosis. And as I got the diagnosis, I'm on Amazon ordering a binder, I'm ordering dividers, and I'm starting to put together my objectives. It was complete turnaround. That's the way I looked at it. I said, okay, this is no different to what I've done for years. For 30 years, I've gone in and turned around bad companies, good companies, medium companies, whatever it might be. And now I'm going to turn around myself. So I went into that complete mode where nobody could stop me. I was obsessive. That's all I did was build the research and build the portfolios. And the first appointment that I had, I was handing out agendas, handing out 46 questions that I asked, and every single one had to be answered and documenting all of them, and then went back with next steps. I mean, it was insane. My husband was sitting in the corner just holding his head going, they have no idea what's going on right now.
What does he do, by the way?
He's also a CEO. He's general manager of a corporation.
Okay, so you're really hand in hand in this.
Well, he was quiet.
Okay. All right. I see where the power struggle is right there. Got it.
He was quiet. He would sit in the corner and from time to time I'd be like, please speak. I need you to speak. And then he would speak, of course. But he always felt like, well, I don't need to. You got this.
Right. Do you have kids?
I do.
All right. So how old were they when you were diagnosed?
She was 21.
Okay. So fully formed in a sense.
Yes.
But there's no good version of that.
There is no good version. The only good version of it was she was already living in Ireland. So she was away from it. And I wanted her to focus on school and focus on what she had to do. And I said, this is Dad's responsibility.
Oh, boy. Delegation.
Yes.
Very corporate of you.
Yes.
I met someone a couple of years ago. Her name was Chris Carr. She's still around. She had like one of the 37 syllable cancers that you can't get rid of. But she was the first person that talked about how when you get sick, you have to incorporate the Save My Ass company, right? And Sons. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of what you did.
Yeah.
What kind of blowback or feedback or welcoming did you get? Like, oh my God, you're so prepared, or Jesus Christ, you're too prepared?
No, nobody ever said I was too prepared. I think that I got actually very little blowback, to be honest. I think they appreciated it. Listen, the doctors today are so inundated. They run so behind, and they have so many patients, too many patients. And so I think that for them, it was like a blessing. Okay, at least this woman's coming in prepared and she's very clear, like, here's all the symptoms that I'm having and here's the 3 that we need to solve for. So that was the conversations. They were very strategic. And then I spent more time candidly getting to know how many kids they had and where they went to school and what they did and kind of building that personal relationship because I knew I would need that personal relationship when I wanted to ask for things that were outside of traditional medicine.
That's a great answer. I'm part of a documentary now that this is going to air in like June, but it's a year-long documentary called Suck It Up, Buttercup. And I'm going to drop some names. Mark Cuban's in there. Wendell Potter's in there. Some luminary physicians. The former head of the chief medical officer of the NIH is in there. It's all about burnout and the absolute unintentional loss of empathy in medicine because of the crushingness that the system puts on our medical professionals, and that they struggle to basically follow Hippocrates.
Yeah.
But to your point, relationships. If it's possible to have a relationship, you can't really control whether your doctor is going to be like an empath or a robot. I prefer a robot because I'd rather have a mechanic tell me something. I'll have empathy somewhere else.
Correct.
But you basically created empathy by having them have a relationship with you that was beyond just clinical and binary.
Oh, yeah. And then I kept obviously bringing my daughter into it because she was in medical school. She is in medical school, I should say. So I kept on saying, oh, yeah, she's doing this rotation and that rotation. So right away, we just created this relationship that like, as I said, they knew about me, I knew about them, and it was less about what I needed from them. And the way that I didn't write this in my book, but so my first ever job was at McDonald's.
That teaches you something.
It does. And just so you know,
tolerance of stupidity, first and foremost.
Well, let me just tell you something, right? Just because it's really important for you to know.
Yeah.
Not only was I Employee of the Month once, but I was Employee of the Month twice.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive.
You tick the best boxes.
I'm telling you. So how I define how they treat cancer patients is very much like the McDonald's menu. You have breast cancer, here's what you get. You have this cancer, here's what you get. You have this cancer, here's what you get.
You have no insurance, here's the dollar menu.
Exactly. Totally. And I said, no, I don't want the McDonald's menu. I want the right treatment for my type of cancer that's going to work on my body, right? And it may not work on your body. And I wanted precision medicine. And that's what I believe in. And the problem is, as you said, the doctors are so inundated. They have so many patients. They don't even know your name when you walk in. They're just completely going from patient to patient to patient. And so we're not getting precision medicine. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I got.
Well, that brings up the massive dichotomy between 20% of people getting care at clinics that have precision medicine even to offer, and 80% that are in rural America at cancer centers that don't have anything to offer. And those people are largely unaware that it's even possible to have to employ a third-party consultant to help you get less screwed.
Exactly. And it's not only, you don't always have to employ a third party. I established what I refer to as my executive board team. And
on brand.
Yes, of course. Well, I am a consultant at heart.
Yes.
You can't take that consultant out of me. I'm so sorry, but it doesn't
No, don't apologize.
It doesn't leave.
I'm nodding my head on the radio.
But the reality is that on that executive board team, I had all kinds of professionals on, and they would come on and they would come off. And I even had a naturopath on there, and now put a naturopath with an
allopath.
Yeah, with a regular doctor. That's fun. And that was so important to me. And so I really established such a creative team based on the needs that I had at the time, depending on what type of, what I was going through.
Tell us what the Healing Rebel is. So
I developed the Healing Rebel when I started going through cancer. I started going on to Facebook, and I joined.
What is that famous last words?
Oh God. I joined all of these Facebook groups, and it was so negative. Mm-hmm. And yet I learned a lot. So I just want to be clear. I learned a lot on these groups, but there was such negativity. And I started blogging under the title of The Healing Rebel. And the response that I got from people was incredible. And so from that...
You dare go positive?
I know. And then if I wouldn't write a blog, the pressure, by the way, they would reach out to me going, "Are you okay? We haven't heard from you." And the amount of people that wanted me to encourage me to write a book. And so I developed The Healing Rebel, and that's what I kind of defined myself as, because that's what I was doing. And then from that, I developed this protocol that I talk about in my book in terms of really how to insert yourself and assert yourself in your medical care. And that if you can't do it, get someone else to do it. Could be a friend, could be a spouse, it could be whomever, but get somebody that has the ability to help you because it's very difficult. I was very lucky that I was able to honestly like step outside, like it was like an out-of-body experience, and be able to be my own advocate. Because it's not often that happens because it's happening to you. And I just disassociated myself with what they were telling me in order to cure myself.
Go figure.
I know.
I feel like I have to tell you a story as one CEO to another. When I was hiring at Stupid Cancer for 13 years, the number one question I got was, do I have to have cancer to work here? It's like, no, please, God, no.
No, we don't wish that on anybody.
No.
God.
But you developed a hiring style that I really admire. I mean, I try to hire people that are, I mean, you want to just quirkily say dumber than me. I want to hire people who can understand me.
Yes.
And basically be like a combination of a gatekeeper, a moat defender, part coach, and part therapist, but part operator.
Yep.
There's a lot of parts.
That's
like
a lot of
pizza.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are unicorns. They're hard to come by,
Yeah.
but I've been blessed to have a few. What about you?
I would say that the people that I bring on have been incredible. So here's what I need. I need people that are going to lean in. I need people that are going to help advocate for me. And I need people that are just going to be there. And I will tell you that I've had such an incredible village surrounding me. It's been wild.
You said you were diagnosed while you were on a client call in Spain.
Yes, with a major athleisure brand, which who I can't say who it was, but I'll let you figure
please
it
say
out.
Spanx. Please say Spanx. Not a sponsor.
And just so you know, I never got back to the call.
Oh, God. I was diagnosed on a blinking answering machine. This was 1995.
Oh, when we had answering machines?
Yeah.
Or when we actually listened to answering machines?
You had to hit the button. You
Yeah.
had one in the house. It was upstairs, never downstairs for some reason.
On the cassette tape.
Yeah, like the micro cassette tape.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, this story's in my book, but basically my mom and I went to the radiologist after all these months of misdiagnosis. This was in December of 95. We went out to lunch afterwards, got back to the house, and the machine was blinking. But unless Days of Our Lives was calling, no one calls the blinking machine on a Thursday. She took off from teaching that day to take me to the hospital. And it's like, yeah, we found something. Come on back. It looks bad. Pretty much. Like, we know when the legend becomes fact, print the legend. It's kind of the way we remember it.
Yeah.
Good times. Like when Berger broke up with Carrie on a Post-it.
Oh, my God. I talk about that all the time. Like, please never dump me on a Post-it note. Ironically, I never dump guys on a Post-it note, but there's still some that I guess I'm still dating. Does that make sense?
Like ex-work husbands?
Yeah, I mean,
or people like sliding doors husbands?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just never broke up with them.
Okay. And they don't know?
Apparently
Does
not.
your husband know?
Well, now we will.
Yeah, exactly. We just outed everything right here on the show.
But yes, I was on a client call that I never got back to, and I answered the phone to. This is one of the worst calls I have to make because I had a great relationship with that doctor, and she said, "You have cancer," and all I could say was, "But the mammogram was clear."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I just repeated that a gazillion times.
Yep.
Not that it would make a difference.
No.
And she said, well, it picked up on the MRI. And I was like, thank God for that radiologist.
Mm-hmm.
Only to then know, based on all the analysis that I did, big surprise, that mammograms are not as accurate as we like to pretend they are.
Especially at the age you were young.
I was 51.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Bingo. All right. Last question. Someone gets your book, Fuck Cancer, and we hope that they take your advice, but there's a lot of advice in there. It's a lot to swallow. Not everyone can be the CEO of Unfuck Me Inc., right? For me, I hearken back to the fact that Livestrong had the first binder. The first true binder ever in cancer navigation was Livestrong's. It's people like me that remember it. It's lore, it's legend. And with Lance, it went away. Mm-hmm. Someone should bring it back. But it feels like you have a template.
I do.
To start making your own Cancer Wears Prada navigator trapper keeper.
I do.
Let's get on that.
I do. I have a process. It's pretty clear. And it really starts with being clear on your objective, putting together all your analysis. So everything that you have from family history to anything that you have from yourself, from all of your reports. And then you start to go into starting to make some of those decisions, right? Once you understand what the type of treatments are, you need to get ahead of it. Am I going to do a double mastectomy? Am I not? Right? So what are some of the things that are important to you?
Right.
And I also put a section in there which is not the happy section, which is putting your shit together, right? Because while you're going through this, there's so much going through your head and your family is left. And it was really important to me to update our wills, our powers of attorney, our last wishes, and putting it in a very simple place, our passcode. So I talk a lot about how you need to put all of that together. And then we go back into just the process of the things that you need to do and really creating that executive board team, getting all the support that you want on.
Incorporated.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, just being really clear on what you want to do and really also putting together a support team because you're going to need that.
Yep. All right. Well, we got the bonus round coming up. Are you familiar with this?
No, I'm not, but I'm excited.
Great. So what I do with every guest is I ask AI a question.
Uh-oh.
But I feed AI information about you, and then I talk to AI about how I feel about you, what I've learned about you, and what I expect to speak to you about.
Okay.
And I asked it the following question. If you were Netflix series, what 3 pop culture icons would embody your character? And the answers are, ironically, Murphy Brown. Not because of the shoulder pads, though those don't hurt, because she brings authority, wit, and impatience with nonsense, and the specific energy of a woman who's done the work long enough to stop apologizing for competence. Right? You're Sigourney Weaver in Working Girl, not Tess McGill. You're the good Sigourney Weaver, the first part of the movie, by way of Aliens. You have the boardroom steel, the managerial precision, and the look of someone who can weaponize a clipboard. Then cancer drags her into a body level terror, and she responds like Ripley with a planner, a protocol, and open contempt for being underestimated while floating in space. Right? And you are Roseanne Barr before the cultural collapse, the dark domestic humor, the refusal to make female suffering look graceful, the instinct to say the rude thing everyone else is politely dancing around. Murphy Brown, Sigourney Weaver, Roseanne Barr.
I like it.
You get to keep this. This is your souvenir.
I do? Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, the Roseanne Barr one, I'm a little scared, but...
Well, it's the old one. Like normal Roseanne Barr.
Okay.
Like late 80s Roseanne Barr.
Okay.
When she was coming out of being an awesome comedian.
Yes.
Before she went batshit crazy.
Yeah, and then she went crazy and ruined the whole show. Yeah.
Yeah, just like it's like Sigourney Weaver with Aliens, not Sigourney Weaver who destroyed Tess McGill.
Yes,
but
that's
then
right.
Tess won.
Yeah.
Hashtag Harrison Star.
Yeah, there you go.
Hashtag Harrison Ford.
Yes.
There you go. All right. Farla Efros. Is that right?
Efros.
Farla Efros is a retail executive, cancer survivor, and the author of Fuck Cancer, Commanding a Comeback When Your Body Has Turned on You. Well done. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. This has been a lot of fun.
Yes. All the shit in the show notes, folks. We'll see you next time, whatever next time is. Probably next Tuesday.
Out of Patience with Matthew Zachary is a production of Matthew Zachary Worldwide. The executive producer is Matthew Zachary. It is mixed and edited by Kyle Moore. If you like the show, ratings and reviews are always welcome wherever you get your podcasts. If you have guest suggestions or would like to learn more about sponsorship opportunities, email podcast@matthewzachary.com. For more information about Matthew Zachary and Matthew Zachary Worldwide, visit matthewzachary.com.